I'm Jake Bruton, and today on the Build Show, we're going to continue my Business 101 series, and we've talked about how to choose your clients, and today we're going to talk about how to choose your employees and how to keep those employees to make your business better. So let's do that. So when it comes to our employees, this is something that just the same as with clients, nobody really teaches how to hire, how to fire, how to make sure that your employees are happy, how to develop good employees. And I wanted to just give you the ways that my firm is working through these sorts of issues and how we've worked through the issues in the past. I would say that the problems in our industry are people that are undertrained, inexperienced, or this idea that you can't do anything else, so you may as well do construction. So I want to eliminate those ideas from our thought patterns and move past that right away. We're looking for high quality individuals that are willing to learn, that are going to be an asset to our company. So let's start from that perspective. And I like to think about employees from success of others. So when I say that, you might not think of McDonald's. Everybody knows McDonald's, and if you step back beyond whatever your feelings are on the company, and you look at how that company is ran, it can tell you a lot about their success, and a lot of their success comes from their employees. They are overwhelmingly one of the most consistent companies in the world, in my opinion. When you enter into one of those places, you know what to expect. You know what you're going to get. Everybody has the same uniform on. Everybody is polite. They say the same sorts of things. The place is clean. And when it comes down to it, that's what we're looking for as builders. We're looking for consistency. We're looking for smiling faces. We're looking for good representatives. So think about the way that other industries even are doing this. And I would look to McDonald's. They have consistency. They've proven their system works. So my system starts with the hiring process, which is what everybody's system starts with. When I'm looking for a new team member, I am actually less concerned with carpentry skills than I am with things like them appearing to be trustworthy or them being teachable. What I know in my experience, because my firm especially still does a lot of remodeling, we're in people's houses. The first problem that I could have is if I bring someone into their house that doesn't appear to be trustworthy. Now, I don't mean appearance most likely. I don't mean that you look like you steal or that you look like you're untrustworthy. I mean, after you've talked to the person, do they appear to be trustworthy? So when I first bought the company 12 years ago, one of the first things that I did was I hired a couple employees. And the people that I hired were people that I was really good friends with. And those people actually now are our general manager and one of our framers. I hired them not based off their carpentry skills, because I'm fairly certain that I taught both of them how to read a tape measure. I hired them because I knew that I could trust them unequivocally. If you don't have trust, then there is a large boundary that you're going to have to get past with your employees that is a very difficult thing. And to be honest, if you don't trust that employee, then how could you possibly send them into someone's house? Or how could you let them drive one of the company vehicles? Or let them use the tools? If you don't trust them, then you're starting at a point of failure, in my opinion. So our number one thing is we're looking for people that are trustworthy. Next, we're looking for people that are teachable. If you feel like you know everything under the earth, or on earth about everything, then you're going to be a difficult employee, especially when it comes to working for a place like my firm, where we're doing energy efficiency detailing that nobody else in the state is doing. It's going to be very difficult for you to show up for a job interview and claim that you understand how air sealing works or how an ERV works when no one else in the market is using them and no one else in the market's installing them and no one else in the market is even blower door testing their houses. That's a very difficult thing So I'm not looking for an employee that understands everything. I'm looking for an employee that's willing to learn, because that teachable mentality is huge. And in that hiring process, the extension of that teachability, you actually have to teach them. I have somewhere in the range of 12 employees that have worked for me that now own their own business. That's not even counting people that work for other people. It's just people that own their own business. And I had another contractor recently say to me, well, don't you think that means that you overtrain those guys so that they can go and do that on their own? I completely understand where that guy's coming from. I've lost those 12 employees. It stinks. I wish those 12 guys, probably every one of them, still worked for me. They were good guys. They were good carpenters. They were assets to my company, hence why they can go and be successful on their own. And the stuff that they learned with my firm made them worth more money and worth more and more productive with my firm while they were here. I don't understand the mentality behind, well, I got to keep my employees uninformed or ignorant to processes so that they don't go and do it on their own. Treat the employees the best you can, and the ones that will stay will be highly educated. And the ones that leave, at least in my case, all end up being subcontractors. So it's a win-win situation for me that most of those guys that used to work for me are now subs. I know they know how to do it the right way because they know what our standards are, and they know what my methods are, and they've learned them from me directly. So they're assets whether or not they don't work for our company anymore. I know that that's a weird mentality that we can say, well, yeah, that person doesn't work for me, but they're still a good asset. They were trustworthy when they worked for me, they were teachable, and we put in the effort to train and teach them. And I think that can go a long way. I think the next aspect with employees is strong leadership. That strong leadership doesn't necessarily have to come from the business owner. It can come from project managers, but it starts with the business owner. You have to lead by example. And the things that are so silly that you shouldn't have to say, if you want your employees to show up on time, you better be on time. If you want them to say, yes, I can get that done today and actually get it done, then when you say I can get that done today, you better get that done today. It seems so simple, but it goes a long way to being a cohesive team and having the respect of your employees if you are leading by example. The next thing with employees is absolute clear expectations. Verbal instructions should be very clear. You should be willing to take the time to talk through things with your employees. You should be willing to answer all of the questions they have and not just say, hey, I told you how to do it, just go and do it, and we'll hit the questions as they come up, which is something that I actually had a problem with when I first bought the company. I wanted to go, hey, I know how to do this. If we just get started, it'll be clear. It's better to answer those questions ahead of time. But the other way besides verbal is written procedures. So you totally should have an employee manual. There should be clear expectations as to every aspect of the employee's job. This is what we do during the day. These are the hours that we're here. This is the attire. This is how we handle clients. These are the things that you're supposed to say when clients ask questions. This is our expectation of quality. All those things, if they are clearly written out, and I know what you're thinking, people don't read the employee manual. I ask everybody to read it while they're on the clock. Take your time, go through it, and let's talk about what questions you have, because this is the entire body of how the company operates. And I need you to understand what I'm putting forward and my expectations, because if you understand them, then it's going to be way easier for you to meet them. And I think that giving the employee the opportunity to be successful starts with everything that we've talked about. Be willing to teach, have clear expectations, be willing to answer those questions. I also think that you should be very flexible with your employees. I know that everybody wants to take time off from now and then, or now and then, and I understand that everyone has a life outside of work. One of the things that I always tell my guys right when I hire them, we may have a Saturday here or there that we need to work, we need to get something taken care of because it's really going to help the project move along or something. But I always tell them, you have to pay attention to my language, because if I say, would you like to work this weekend? that means it's optional. That means, hey, you know, we could get this taken care of this weekend and it'd be better for the clients. Or I say, hey, I really need you to work this weekend. And I make it a clear expectation that there might be 2 weekends during the whole year that I ask you to pick up a Saturday. I don't want you to be here working 50 or 60 hours a week. That's not what our goal is. That's not what we try to provide for our clients. If you want to expect that from your clients, then you have to compensate them appropriately and find people that's a goal of theirs. But I don't expect anyone to be more motivated about their job than I am about my job. I love my job and I'm the business owner and I don't want to work 7 days a week. I don't even want to work 6 days a week. That also takes us back to leading by example. Very rarely does one of my guys work Saturday when I'm not there as well. It's not worth it to me to force them to work a Saturday if I'm not willing to put forth that effort. If I'm not willing to be there, if it's not that important, then it's not important enough for an employee to be there. I also, one of the things that I see in our industry is a W-2 versus a W-9 employee. I'm a very big proponent of don't hire people that you don't have work for, which means you should be W-2 instead of W-9. If you're a subcontractor and you're in charge of paying your own taxes, you're not part of my company. You're a subcontractor. If you're a W-2 employee, I'm making a commitment to you to keep you busy the amount of time that you and I have agreed upon and to take care of you for the whole year. I'm not making a commitment for one job. I'm hiring you because I want to build a long-term relationship and have you be part of our company and be an asset to our company. I therefore think W-9 employee is not the way to go. I don't want to subcontract to people. I have subcontractors that I subcontract to. I have employees that are in-house that wear Aarow Building shirts, that drive Aarow Building pickups, and have that family of expectations from Aarow Building rather than being a subcontractor. So I think if you do all these things, it'll make your hiring and firing and employment process a lot better. So we're being consistent, we're leading by example, and we're being very clear with our expectations, and that success all starts with a good hiring process. Now, I wanted to give you a couple more tips to make this process a little bit easier outside of that like standard run-of-the-mill stuff. I have started doing our employee reviews online. So I send the employee review to the employee and say, hey, here's 10 to 15 questions about you and your job. Fill these out, and then after you filled it out, we'll talk about it. That gets them the ability to sit and think about why they would be asking for a raise, why they would be worth more money, why they would deserve more money. And I don't have any problem with an employee asking for more money. I would actually prefer they all be making more money, which means they're worth more to me, which means we're more profitable and we provide a better service. That's the goal. The other thing that I've done with my employees over the years is if you have a method where we can do something and cost the client less money. So if you say, hey, you know, if we use these bolts, then it eliminates pre-drilling all these holes in this deck or whatever it is. If you bring to the table a method that's going to maintain the quality of the project while making the project move more quickly, whatever the difference in cost is, I'll split it with you. And I'll split it with you every time we do it from here on out while you work with me. And it has been a great opportunity for innovation in our company and a great opportunity for our employees to be able to step back, look objectively at what's going on and try to problem solve things and provide a more cost-effective product for our clients. So those are two little tips that I like to throw in there as well. So until next time, thank you for watching me on The Build Show. Follow me on Instagram. It's jake.bruton. Don't forget, every week, Wade Paquin in Rhode Island, Brent Hull in Fort Worth, Texas, and Steve Basic in Boston, Massachusetts. The four of us are putting up at least one video a week, and Matt Reisinger is also adding to thebuildshowNetwork.com. I'm really proud to be involved with this. I'm really happy with the guys' content. I sit down and watch their content. As my peers, I enjoy what they're putting forward too. So I want you to check it out. Thanks for watching. I hope that this was helpful. Stay tuned for more of this Building Basics 101 coming soon. Thanks.